and welcome to the official podcast of the Pune Grand Tour 2026. I'm Neha Tikam and I will take you on a journey into the world of cycling with stories full of passion, endurance and love for this sport. Pune Grand Tour is set to be India's first ever global cycling event and has been approved as a stage 2.2 race by UCI, the global cycling body. So let's pedal into the world of cycles, tracks, terrains and cyclists who love and live this sport. Let's meet Dr. Anand Gangwal, who is a highly qualified consultant, sports and musculoskeletal physiotherapist holding a master's degree from the University of South Australia. He excels in injury prevention and rehabilitation, providing expert care to the elite athletes at Prime Physio Clinic in Pune. He also serves as an associate professor at Sancheti College. Additionally, Dr. Gangwal is a committed sportsman and he has successfully completed the challenging Ironman competition. So let's welcome Dr. Anand Gangwal sir to the Pune Grand Tour 2026. Let's dive into the world of cycling. So here is the first question, sir. As a sports therapist, what is the most common injury pattern you see among ultra endurance cyclists?
So the most common injuries amongst endurance cyclists or endurance sport is mainly tissue overload injuries.
Right.
So they are doing a repetitive motion again and again and again.
Correct.
So most common in cyclists what we see is knee pain.
Right.
And the second is lower back pain. These are the most common things and reasons can be varied, but this is what is seen most commonly. Whereas again, this event is going to be a mass start event.
Right.
And in mass start, sometimes accidents can happen when all the cyclists are starting together.
Right, right.
So, if there are any major crashes, then usually cyclists tend to fracture their collarbones or their shoulders.
Yeah, that is the commonest fracture which you have.
Fractures which we see in cyclists, but we don't expect that all much here. But due to overuse kind of injuries are more important.
Yeah, we pedal 1,000 times in this long distance cycling.
Maybe.
Right, right.
So yeah, that's basically the most two important things which that needs to be dealt with.
Right, right. How early should a cyclist start conditioning or preparing for such kind of, long distance cycling or multi-stage, multi-days level of cycling like this tour?
So again, we will have two types of cyclists. We'll have these international cyclists who are coming to Pune for this wonderful event, and there'll be recreational cyclists as well. So usually international cyclists follow something called as periodization.
Right.
Where they have a whole year plan, they have multiple races.
Right.
So according to the periodization planning, they need to peak at the race. So that's the way the training is planned, and they have sports scientists, exercise physiologists working with them to attain that peak during the competition.
Right.
So 10 to 12 weeks is a good time to peak in this, but an amateur or a newbie cyclist, newbie competitive cyclist will have to build base for quite a long time.
True.
And then 10 to 12 weeks might be their major chunk of training, more race specific training.
Right, right, right. So they will have to
depending
taper
on the terrain
off.
of the
Yes,
race.
yes, right. Can you tell us some red flag symptoms where you really, or the cyclist will really have to stop training and go or see a physio?
So mainly anything what I usually tell people is, if one area is hurting for more than 5 to 6 days consistently, and the pain is worsening,
right,
and usually a good cyclist or experienced cyclist will have his own things in the kitty, they might stretch, they might do few things. But if pain, especially in a localized area, is persisting for more than 5 to 6 days,
right,
the first thing they can do is rest for a week, see how if the pain settles, try cycling again, or try doing that activity again which is giving them pain, and still if the pain is coming back, they definitely need to see somebody. Other cycling related things which need to be really taken into consideration is pins and needles in the hand, because of holding the handles.
Yes,
all
do
the
have
time
that
their
numbness.
nerves can get pressed.
Exactly. With
Pins and needles in the feet as well, because if the saddle is not set up right, then that can lead to pins and needles down the legs. So these are few things which they should really get into. And of course, if they've had a fall from the bike, Then depending on how much swelling is there, can they move that part freely?
Right.
That will all determine when they need to go and see a medical expert. So pain is something which I always tell a lot of athletes and my patients, that pain is a protective sensation. If there was no pain in our body, we would not understand that there is something wrong with us.
Right.
So I tell all the athletes to respect pain. Of course, each person's pain thresholds are different. But just taking painkillers and pushing yourself is not always the right answer. Of course, that approach can be slightly different during a competition.
Right.
But generally in training, you need to respect pain, because there is a source of pain, and that source of pain has to be identified.
Correct. You should not neglect those signs when you are training, especially. Yeah, so the next question is, many cyclists rush recovery, So what is your biggest myth-busting message for them?
So recovery is really a complex topic, and your recovery starts during training also, because how well you hydrate, how well you eat during these endurance events will also determine, and this being a staged race.
Right.
How they recover for the next day is very crucial.
Absolutely.
So during racing as well, how well they are hydrating themselves, what is their electrolyte balance, are they maintaining it, are they eating well, and immediately after the race they need to go through some drills of stretching.
Correct.
And ice baths is one thing which commonly are used to recover well. Sleep, most underrated thing, which has to be addressed and be monitored, and technology has gone way forward. Not only sleep, but there's something in sleep, there's something which is called as the heart rate variability.
Correct.
Which a lot of our watches do give.
Yes.
And that can be monitored. And one more thing with regards to recovery is that it is said that if you measure your heart rate early in the morning, resting heart rate, and if that is above 5 to 8 beats than your usual resting heart rate, then you're going into overtraining.
Right.
So keeping this log as soon as you wake up, checking your heart rate, will, before even you start getting signals in the body, these tools will tell us that probably something is going wrong.
Right, your body is not recovered properly.
Not recovered properly.
Yes, correct. How can cyclists balance strength, mobility and endurance to stay injury free throughout this entire tour? Can you just guide us?
So throughout the tour, of course, they will just be sticking to the same plan, because you don't want to do something new.
Different, true.
You don't want to do anything new. So all this will happen prior to the race, and they just need to stick to the plan and follow that plan. And as we discussed in the recovery aspect, they need to make sure that post their race, they need to stretch well. These days we get a lot of athletes use massage guns if there are no masseurs available. And also, even if you're looking at that, that needs to be used the right way, because there are, even for deep tissue therapy, there will be different kinds during competition. After competition, the therapy changes.
Right.
So all is now become quite technical in those aspects also, even with simple things as a massage. True. So there are different techniques during competition, after the competition, in training. So it has become very scientific now.
Right, but for cyclists in Pune, do you recommend any sort of routine, like a structured training, which we generally do? So few 2 days of strength and mobility exercises.
Yeah. So one very important aspect, as we discussed about, cyclists tend to focus a lot on their quadriceps.
True.
But actually, a lot of problems come due to weakness in their glutes. Yeah. So strengthening the glutes, having a structured training program for the glutes, strengthening their core is extremely important. See, this lumbo-pelvic hip complex, like our hip joints, our lumbar spine, they are transferring the power.
Right.
They are stable, they are not moving, but they are very essential to transfer power into our legs. So during that time, if this area is very stable, the power transfer will happen much better. And to get that, they need to do a lot of core stability training. And of course, being in one sustained position for a very long time. One more thing I tell a lot of cyclists is the mobility of their mid-back.
Okay.
Actually,
yeah, the posture is very aggressive on the road bike.
And a lot of cyclists get neck pain also.
Yeah.
The reason for their neck and their back to get affected is many times.
That is Sherman's neck syndrome, which you have when you have, ultra
the forward head posture and everything. So why that really happens is because the mid back is very stiff. So if the mid back is flexible, see, our whole spine works as a unit. Okay, each segment contributes to movement. So if the mid back is not contributing to movement, our neck and our lower back is slightly more mobile, and they will get strained, and that will hurt. But actually the problem lies in the mid back.
Okay.
And if you work your mid back properly, then your breathing also improves. Now this is an endurance sport. Okay, your breathing muscles around your chest and your mid back, and the more your lung expansion is, more oxygen is going to go inside, and more energy is going to get generated.
Absolutely.
So a good mid-back mobility, a good chest expansion will be very important to improve their performance and also to prevent injuries.
Great. Pune's terrain is a mix of climbs, flats and also Sahyadri, so heat. So what kind of unique challenges does this create for the cyclist bodies?
So I went through the elevation chart of the
stages.
Yeah, the stages, the 4 stages. We'll talk in more perspective of that. The first stage is rolling. It has a few climbs, but I think the most challenging stage is the second stage. Yeah,
mountain stage.
It has Purandar Fort, and if I'm not wrong, all the steep elevations. So that second stage will be crucial. And when you're climbing, you're using your glutes and calves more, whereas and your hamstrings. But when you're on flat, you're using your quadriceps more. So and that there will be a lot of switching between them. So due to these switching, sometimes athletes also get cramps. Yeah. So that will need to be managed well. So it is, and then I think the third stage again is rolling, and the fourth stage becomes more technical in the city, where there will be more turns, there will be more sprinting, more drafting in the city, and also by that time some psychological mental fatigue also comes in. So in the end your brain, so it's called as a neuromuscular fatigue. So your brain is firing your muscles. So sometimes the brain also gets tired. And that again, going through the city roads with some neuromuscular fatigue and all these things can be a bit challenging.
True. If someone has only 15 minutes post their ride, so what is the most effective recovery routine which you can recommend to all our cyclists?
Firstly, they should not have only 15 minutes, they should have longer.
Good time.
But most important thing is first, immediately after they finish, start hydrating themselves. And start taking some nutrients and all these things. Then do a bit of stretching, stretching especially of the leg muscles, of their mid-back, which we talked about.
Already discussed.
And spend about 15 to 20 minutes stretching these muscles. And after that, making sure that they have good sleep, and they rest well. So main thing is, again, it depends now. Ice baths can be taken, but see, it's going to be winter time, so during our race, so winter, the weather also makes a big impact, because even though it is winter, but after 8:39 it gets hot. So they'll be starting out a bit, stiffer, so they are actually, even before starting, they need to warm up well. And sometimes in winter, the athletes don't feel like drinking a lot of water. So then they don't realize they're dehydrated.
Hydration is
so they'll have to keep focusing on that. And during, again, in the evening when they are resting, maintaining a good temperature is essential in their rooms. If they are going to make their rooms very cold, then again the body is going to stiffen up.
Yes.
Okay. So ice bath is one way of recovery, though immediately post race. But then there is some evidence coming in for some contrast bath also, where they use a combination of heat and cold as well. So that also is some evidence is coming up that can flush out all the toxin buildup in the body. So even that can be considered. But again, I would try to emphasize on one thing, that trying anything new during race time is not a great idea. This has to be all in practice. See what works. Each body is different. What they are more comfortable with. Somebody might not be comfortable with an ice bath. You know, because it might make the body more stiffer, whereas someone might respond much better to an ice bath. So all these things have to be tried in training, and then you should devise a model which works for you the best.
The Pune Grand Tour will be held in the next month, Jan, a month that will be kind of chillier, you know, the winters are here in Pune. So with these kind of lower temperatures, how it will impact the recovery of cyclists?
So our weather has been funny. So when, of course, when they start the race, it will be cooler, but after at around 9 a.m. it can get a lot sunny. So it will be a combination of hot and cold. And the most important thing the athletes need to remember is before they start their race, they'll have to warm up well, because they're going to start in a colder weather. And later on, even if it is sunny, the temperature might be low, so they might not hydrate as well. So during the competition, during the race, they need to really hydrate themselves, and along with that, taking good electrolytes. And after the race as well, they need to recover, have a good recovery, and even in the night when they're sleeping, they need to maintain a good temperature so that their body doesn't really get stiff the next day morning. So even in the rooms when they are going to be sleeping, they need to maintain a slightly higher temperature so that they don't feel more stiff in the mornings.
What is the most memorable athlete transformation or comeback you have witnessed in Pune?
So I have seen a lot of comebacks, not only of elite cyclists, but also recreational cyclists who are, doing BRMs and all these things. And phenomenal recovery by one of the patients who came to me with back pain, was suffering from 1 month. I felt that something is not going right here. He's tried a lot of things, but the pain doesn't just seem to go. We got an MRI, and unfortunately it got diagnosed with cancer. Surprising. And so it was even one-off experiences in my practice, because
because all these ultra endurance cyclists do have this kind of back pain and lower back issues.
I don't wish to scare anybody, but what I mentioned in my earlier thing, that if pain is persisting in one area and it's not going by the right treatment, then maybe sometimes investigations are valuable. But due to the highly motivated nature of this athlete or recreational athlete, this person is in a span of 2 years has been doing marathons and doing cycling events. He's undergone bone marrow transplants after the diagnosis, but made a comeback. And another elite level cyclist I was seeing, she underwent a spine surgery, and then later on went on to participate in the nationals as well. So of course, medical science, medical treatments have evolved, have got better, and even with all such challenges, people can recover, and your mental and psychological attitude is really extremely important, which will dictate the recovery of that person. And psychological aspect really needs to be taken care of. A motivated, a positive person definitely will come out of whatever challenges or physical challenges they face.
Absolutely amazing. So the last question is, what is your single best advice to finish strong and pain-free for these Pune Grand Tour riders?
So, of course, training well, having good strength will definitely give you good speed. But what in the end matters is discipline.
Right.
So, staying disciplined and making sure that after each stage they recover well and stick to their plans. Of course, they will have, these are international cyclists,
Yes.
they'll have a big team behind them working in the background, and sticking to the plan and understanding the course, the elevations of the race will definitely help them to win this race.
Correct. Thank you so much, sir. That was brilliant, and you shared so many tips for all the Grand Tour riders as well as all the cyclists here in Pune. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here, and a very good luck to all the athletes, the organizers for this event. It's a great initiative, and I would mostly tell all the public, all the people to support this initiative. Keep the roads clear, don't have traffic on the roads during this race, and support this event, because that will promote the sport in a significant way in our country.
Great.
So here is a small gift hamper from the Pune Grand Tour, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you soon with more such interesting cycling stories on the official podcast of Pune Grand Tour. Thank you.